What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Eight Limbs podcast. I am joined today by a special guest. Welcome, Tiffany Pantozzi. Tiffany is an absolute powerhouse, former Miami Dolphins cheerleader, NBA dancer, fashion brand entrepreneur, and now real estate extraordinaire marketer and just a badass agent all around. Also founder of the Align Real Estate Group, and she's a client of Eight Limbs Creative, one of my businesses. I'm really grateful to have her here, Tiffany. Thank you so much for coming on.
What an intro. I mean, okay, let's get it. I'm going to hire you to intro me onto everything. Yeah. Thank you so much. Loving the opportunity to chat a little bit and, share some knowledge.
Yeah, you're going to have to get a sound clip of that. That can be the intro for your next podcast that you do.
Got it.
So
and maybe you're going to film, maybe.
Yeah, I love that. So let's get into it. So right away, I will say I own a media agency, guys, in Florida, Eight Limbs Creative. And something Tiffany and I were talking about off the air here was, we have several hundred clients across Florida. And how Tiffany first came on my radar was clients inbound call us and they would say, hey, I want this. I have a luxury property. I have a single family home, whatever it would be. But I would hear Tiffany's name brought up often, her company name rather, and be like, I like what they're doing with video. I like this. And they would send us that as a reference example. So I first started to observe it, and Tiffany was in a different city. So I didn't really get a chance to meet her in person, but I just definitely was like, wow, I know who this person is. And I actually had not come across your personal account yet. I just followed the Align page. But what got you started in the understanding? And I want to make this a deeper unpacking question here. Why is it that you put so much of an emphasis, and I'll even say so much more of an emphasis than almost any other agent in video when it comes to real estate?
Well, first, it's super flattering to know that other agents that I don't even know are sending you my content saying, hey, this is what's inspiring me. This is what I want to kind of do something similar to, because that's what it's all about. We can all get inspired by each other and then, go ahead and create our own version of our own content for our own brands. So that's really good because we do spend a lot of time and effort, long hours. We invest heavily into our marketing, specifically video within our business. Now, video is the key element for success in today's business, no matter what business you're in, real estate, anything, right? And I'll tell you why, because everybody is on their phones, everybody is on social media. And by putting video out there, you're able to really show your personality. You're able to get people to know, like, and trust you, right? So it's a way to really share who you are, the services that you offer in a very organic human way where people feel like they know you and they want to call you to do business with you, right? So it helps to be really share your most authentic self and connect in a genuine way with people, number one. Number two, I'm a big, advocate of saying, spend a lot of time building your YouTube because YouTube is owned by Google. Where do a lot of people start their searches? They started on Google. I've been saying this for years, and it's shocking to me to know how many people don't know that fact, right? So when you're putting your content on YouTube, if people are Googling, searching for a home, certain areas, certain things they want to learn about an area, you have a higher chance of coming up as that local agent, of that local advisor, right? That mayor of the area, let's just say, that knows everything and becomes the go-to person where people, again, are going to trust in you to guide them, right? So video is a huge part of my business to, again, connect with people authentically. And think about this. While you're sleeping, the video is working for you, okay? Mm-hmm. We need to figure out more ways that our content and everything that we do all day long can work for us while we're sleeping and while we're enjoying time with friends and family. And video content can live on forever. Somebody across the country, across the world can be watching my content, consuming my content 24/7 for the next however many years, right? So it really is important to invest in video content that works for you even when you're sleeping.
Yeah, super well said. You touched on so much. We got to unpack a few of those really quick. So
I usually do that. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I love it. That's so good.
So much to share.
Perfectly said. And so one, I couldn't agree with you more. Obviously, I'm a video company owner, and I've been doing content on YouTube for 10 years. So for me, it still happens to me all the time. Last night, I was out having sushi, and I felt a gentleman kind of lurking behind me. And I looked at my partner and I was like, is there a guy there? And I look and he's like, hey, don't want to disturb you guys. Just want to say I follow all your content, love your stuff, huge fan. I'm gonna send you a message. Maybe you can follow me back. And like that stuff happens a lot. It happens a lot.
You would
And
be surprised. I mean, I'm out at places and
Yeah.
people are stopping me like, oh, you're that realtor. Like I just went to an event at a very luxurious communities country club, right? It's a private country club. And I was there at an event and you could only be there if you're a member. And two different ladies stopped me saying, oh, I know who you are. You're that online realtor, Tiffany Pantozzi, which again, that means that my content is touching people that I am wanting to get in front of, right? Because those are the kind of people that I want to attract in my business, selling luxury real estate here in Central Florida. So it's so shocking when people are like, wow, I know you already. And I'm like, you know, it just proves that the effort, and this is not an overnight success. This has been in the works for, let's call it 6+ years now. Okay. It's not an overnight success. You can't just expect I'm going to do this and tomorrow everything is going to be in place. You have to be consistent and let it build momentum. But I know it's always really cool when people stop you and you're like, wow, what I'm doing is working.
Yeah. And it happens a lot and you realize it. And I think that you're experiencing this, I'm sure it's the case for you, which is when you have that happen, you don't need to really sell yourself to them now. Now you get to take a very different approach. We always say like everyone hates that pyramid scheme person at the party, right? They're always pitching you and selling you. And can I tell you about this amazing money making offer? You're like, bro, get out of here. Like, I'm just trying to hang out and chat with people, right? So you feel that. So when agents don't do their marketing well, what they have to do in person is they have to cling and attach and oversell and overspeak. When an agent does their marketing well and it's already done in the pre, now when they meet you in the present, now they're like, you have this confidence and knowing like, based on what you just said to me, even though you don't have to say it, you're like, I don't have to say anything now. All I have to do is be kind and be nice and say, here's my number, reach me whenever you like. It's done. There's no more sell. And that's what we experience, right?
Exactly. And I use my social media as my digital resume. Okay. Think about it. Somebody wants to know about me. All I have to do is send them a link. They can go to one of my pages and boom, you're going to learn everything you want to know about me. You're going to see my successes. You're going to see my testimonials. You're going to see me in action and get to know if I'm the right fit to represent you.
Yeah. Super well said. And I love that. We call it like your digital storefront, right? It's your store. It's where you're capturing people. And a lot of realtors could definitely improve on that. And that's what I really want to get into today is what more agents can do to start to see more success in real estate, whether that is joining your team or they're tuning in from California and they're wanting to just know what they can do now. But video, I know we all hear it so much. Video is everything. So why is it that you put so much of an emphasis to show communities when you show houses besides just the house?
This is a very important feature of every video that I do. I don't only share the home, right? Because the lifestyle that you're looking to live is beyond the walls of the home. You want to know about the conveniences you're going to have down the street when you go to the grocery store. What are the great schools in the area for your kids, right? What kind of amenities are nearby? It's more about the lifestyle, in my opinion. Of course, the home is important, but also what the lifestyle has to offer. So for me, it's very important to share community tours and add to what is surrounding the home so that people really understand where in Central Florida, for me, right, they may want to live depending on the different features and the different parts of town.
Yeah, I love it. And then it also will help with that searchability. We do community tours in our business and we do quite a few of these, but we do them as just community tours more so than the community with the listing, which I love what your video style that you came to us with was. And what we saw, we just had our third follow-up text. There's an agent locally in Davis Island named Christian Fidel. He's the owner of Fidel Real Estate. He's a broker, been in business for years. We did a very detailed Davis Island community tour for him. And he just gave us a message a couple Fridays back. We use it as a testimonial ad we run now. And he just sends you a message. Hey, Tony, super cool story. I just closed my third buyer with our YouTube video. This one was 3.6 million. They bought the house sight unseen specifically because they saw my YouTube video and wanted to move to Tampa. And we see that and we're like, think about that. That was a video we shot 2 years ago. And like what you're saying, like it's just out there. Like he went to bed and he woke up and his phone rang and then he's like, let's close 3.6 million. Like that's a great day for agents who are proactive with marketing. And I'm sure what you're doing, you're seeing that now because you are the video that you posted, your YouTube has such good engagement. You posted a video, I think it had 4,000 views day one. Don't know who shot for you last.
And again, not only is that giving me and my company, my brand, great exposure. It's giving my listing great exposure. And I'm able to tell my client, listen, I know that I'm going to most likely get you the most exposure ahead of any other agent in the market. You know, I'm going to get it in front of as many buyers as possible. And between all of my social channels, the reach that I have is going to be very competitive to any other agent in the market.
Yeah, that's so true. We speak on that a lot. And I think that you fit a perfect example of this, where I always say, like, agents who try to pinch pennies when it comes time to sell their clients' properties, super dishonest and unethical, because when you think about what happens, and when I teach events, I speak on this. If you could, most agents, not you, but I'm saying most agents, they could get their client an extra $30K out of their properties for sale. But how much extra money is that really going to make them, the agent themselves? Is it negligible? Right. What is it? $500, maybe an extra $500? I don't know what the number is, but it's not enough to get them fired up. So they're like, listen, we don't need to do video. Let's just do some photos. I've got my cousin. She does weddings. I'll have her come in. She's only $50. Let's take the pictures. And they leave it at that. They don't mind that. And I always think, how unethical. This is a nest egg that some people have lived in for years. They have so much equity built into this. And an agent has an amazing opportunity, of course, to profit, but more so, they can change some of these families' lives by how much they sell their house for.
Though, to me, where first of all, it's a mistake of the seller, right? They should do their due diligence. This is their nest egg. This is their most valuable asset. They're hiring somebody to pay somebody to sell it, right? And they should be looking to the top professionals in the market. They should interview multiple professionals to make sure they're hiring the right person, right? And so I start with saying the sellers need to do their due diligence to really hire somebody that's going to invest in their property to ensure they get the highest price, right? But on the flip side, the agents who are super cheap, I hate to say it, and
there's a lot of them
on the marketing, they're missing out for a number of reasons, right? Number one, yes, they're not doing their best service to that client, right? So they're hurting their client's potential to get a maximum eyes on that home, which could in return get max value. But then also they're hurting themselves and they don't realize this. This is the little secret that people don't realize.
The leads.
When you get a listing,
everyone's watching.
You do the marketing. It's for your brand. It's for you so that you can get the next listing, right? So that when you sit down at that next listing appointment, you can show that client all that you did for that other listing that you sold. So when you cheap out and you don't have all this built up content, it's not going to start to work for you. People just don't realize. They don't spend the money. They don't invest. And that's why they don't grow and they don't become top in the market. I mean, I'm in the top 200 of over 20,000 agents in Central Florida. And that's for a reason. I invest in my business. I invest in my clients' properties and it shows. And, for all the agents out there that try to cheap out and don't hire professional photographers, don't do video for their clients right now, they're hurting their client and they're hurting their future business.
Super well said. And you know what? I just feel so understood right now, like you just don't hear many people understand that. We have this conversation all the time with our clients that call. And that we hear them say things like this isn't a super nice listing. I'm not going to do video for this one, which is fine. And we don't push that. But I'm like, the video is not for that. It's for you. Like the video is for you. When you sell, for instance, if you're selling a house in a neighborhood, in a community, those neighbors are watching. The neighbor 3 houses down could be ready next, right? And how you're on stage and you're auditioning everything you do.
I just got the listing that you and I first just worked on. Okay. The one that we just had our first time working together. That one was solely from YouTube. I did not know the seller. They went to my YouTube. They saw my videos. They said, this is the girl I want to represent my property. Called me, hired me, done. Okay. That's because I put the effort into my other properties. I went all out and he said, this is the quality I want for my luxury home. And he hired me.
Yeah, that's so huge. And there's a lot there to think about, but when we talk about it a lot, there's 20% of agents in Florida, only 20% of agents in Florida break 6 figures. Now, when you think about that, first, that sounds like, wait, agents don't make a lot of money. No, agents make a lot.
They don't work. Agents
we have several agents in our business that are MREs, the old fashioned way, millionaire real estate agents making over $1 million a year. However, when you look at the numbers, it's like everything else in life where it is a vast majority that are not getting success. and a small number that are getting all the success. And it's not because of luck, and it's not because of connections and positioning. It is because of effort, but it's not always the effort. Like they're out every day pounding pavement, door knocking. How some people say, oh, so-and-so's not working hard. They are working hard. They're working smart and hard. They're filming video content. They're branding. They're making their team go do branding. Right. And this is what people don't understand. It's not about the work and the results it yields from day one when you shot the video. It is now that, hey, I'm creating, like real estate is all about assets, right? Assets, 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 buy assets. Let's buy properties. It's the same thing. A video is the asset. So once you launch that video, it's live forever. It is evergreen, and you never know what the lifetime value of one video can be. So that's what we talk about. Things like views are not as important. Engagement's not as important because it could serve its purpose. If a video that you posted, maybe it got 1,000 views and it gets 25 likes because it was a low performing video compared to others, but you got $1 million listing. Would you see that as a win?
Yes.
Right. So, and it's just the daily content creation that matters. So your mindset for marketing is definitely ahead of a lot of the agents. So where did that come from? What got you to understand that?
Absolutely. So prior to getting into the real estate field, I actually had started my own company. It was an apparel company, a sports licensed apparel company called Miss Fanatic. And I sold collegiate apparel and NBA licensed apparel. And then I did some private label for the NFL. So I had the license to sell merchandise with all of the team logos on it, right? And I was ahead of the curve. This is pre-2010 when there really wasn't a lot of women's apparel in the sports license industry.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I was a leader in that, I had all this fun, cute stuff for sports fanatics that are females. I had an amazing run with that company. We sold millions of dollars of merchandise. And then I had an opportunity to sell that business. But remember, I built that business from scratch. So all of the product development, all of the marketing, all of the sales, you name it, I did it from scratch, right? So I was able to take all of that expertise. I also have a bachelor's degree. So I went to college for marketing as well, right? And I'm a former NFL cheerleader who, while cheering for the NFL, I had a lot of speaking opportunities and I was on camera a lot. So, I used all of that, right? Full circle to bring that and my expertise and my skill set to the real estate field. But I knew that even with my apparel company, you have to invest in your business if you want it to grow, right? Now, whether that is a monetary investment, your time investment, a mixture of both. Like, I put 10 grand into my real estate business when I was a brand new agent, building my brand, my website. This is when I was still at other brokerages, and I was doing open houses every single weekend. I was door knocking, you name it. Like I was just hitting the pavement. And you'd be so surprised how many agents these days are so lazy. They think like, because we just came off of this crazy boom, they think like the business is just always going to like come to them on Instagram.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But it doesn't work like that, right? So, and I have a bunch of listings, and I always let even any of the agents in my company are able to market those listings, do open houses at those listings. But sometimes it's pulling teeth to get agents to want to do that. And I'm like, you don't understand. This is how I started, and you gotta put in the time and the effort, right? But anyways, I digress. I can go down that rabbit hole. But back to what I was saying.
Entrepreneurship got you understanding that. Yeah.
Yeah. But point is, I really understood that you have to invest in your business, and it's really the marketing that's going to give you exposure. I didn't know anybody in Orlando. I'm from Miami. I moved here, knew nobody in the real estate field. I didn't grow up here. I had to brand myself through social media and make it look like I was bigger than ever. Meanwhile, I hadn't sold anything. And people were like, wow, you're killing it. I'm like, yeah, I'm killing it.
That's so
Meanwhile,
awesome.
I'm just doing house tours. I didn't tell you they're my listing. I didn't tell you I sold them. I was just sharing information about the real estate field. So people started to trust me, be like, oh, she's serious. She's professional. I want to know more from her. Right. And that's how it all kind of rolled.
That's huge. So what you basically said, which was what I was kind of hoping you would say, and I talk about this a lot, is entrepreneurship. And there's a huge difference where a lot of real estate agents, if you took a poll, and I do this a lot when I teach events, I say, guys, raise your hand if you identify as an entrepreneur, and you'll see a lot of the hands go up. So they want to be associated with the title of entrepreneur. However, the biggest difference I see in real estate agents and entrepreneurs is it's all the same, in my opinion, the market and the economy. It's numbers on a screen that fluctuate and have to do with other numbers and people's purchasing. It's just fluctuating numbers. You can win in any climate and any side of it. And great entrepreneurs don't ever blame the economy for anything. They love when the economy's bad because they go, boom, new problems. I'm going to problem solve. I'm going to crush the other guys in business.
Yep.
So I'm in a mastermind group and I've got a lot of such entrepreneurs and we talk about things. So I noticed this huge difference because my colleagues are entrepreneurs that own other businesses. A lot of it is online sales. And then my clients are all real estate agents. And I can start to, I'm like, there is such a huge disconnect in their view for how important marketing really is. Where an entrepreneur usually is going to spend 20% of monthly income on marketing, and they know they need to do that. And they're playing marketing as offense, not defense. They're like, hey, we're going to keep pushing through the jungle and carving a path so it never builds up on us. Where sometimes agents are like, oh, if the listings are easy and they're selling through photos, let's just make the quick money. They're not thinking the big money later. So now they're like, damn, I have no brand.
Crazy. I recently sold a $3 million home in a neighborhood that's gated, one of the top neighborhoods here in Central Florida, right? Mm-hmm. And the agents who were listing the home are, they're veterans. They've been in the industry 20 plus years, live in the neighborhood, but they're lazy. So I reached out and I asked them if they had a video. Yeah, right. Like they laughed at me if they had a video, right? And so I dared to ask if they had a virtual walkthrough because my client was out of state. They were actually out of country, right? And they were putting an offer sight unseen. And she was like, no, the houses sell too fast to even waste time and money doing that. And I'm thinking to myself, you are so lazy. You're selling a $3 million house and you're not even going to put the money in to do some of the basics. I mean, even a virtual walkthrough tour is not a lot of money,
right,
for us to get that done. So I was just appalled that I'm like, it's okay. You know what? She's going to get a lot of business because she has her network and she's like always, up in everybody's, business in the community, but she's going to be phased out because there's turnover, right?
Yeah.
A lot of new people are coming in.
Well, the new generation is going to overtake the old. We deal with that too. There's a demographic gap where the agents, and not all of them, I don't want to attack an age group here that are my clients, but of course, once you cross the barrier of like 55, if they're still in business now, they've been in real estate for so long, they don't like the modern way things are trending, just like our parents didn't like that the internet was becoming a thing.
But we have to evolve. Any business has to evolve, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and there are some older agents that are veterans and they're gangsters and amazing, and they're still doing video, right?
They stay modern. They stay on it, right?
Totally. So it doesn't matter the age. It's either you're going to stay up with the times, with the technology, and you should be, again, as a seller, you should be able to say, you know what? You are so behind. You don't have social media presence. You don't have a way to get thousands of eyes on my listing. I'm going to go with this agent instead of you,
Right.
But consumers, sellers, they need to be more educated to understand, like, what are you getting for the money you're paying to hire somebody, right? Don't you want the best? Don't you want somebody investing in your home? And now I'm talking from a seller's perspective, but even on a buyer's perspective, again, like they're going to see your videos and they're going to know, the area. You're going to tell them the best place to live and why, right? They should know that you're the right person to be connected to in that city.
Totally. Even from the buyer side, what they're going to feel with video, some people say, I don't need video, I'm a buyer's agent. It's like, well, let me explain where that's going to help you. Because when you think about social media these days, right? What you do is you tend to like attracts like, everyone knows that energy attracts energy. So I always tell people, show the most authentic version of you and your personality and whatever sports team you're into. And if you love fishing on your boat in the weekends, show that, because the other people who happen to love fishing on the boat and love Morgan Wallen or the same artist and love that same team, they are going to be a raving fan client that can't wait to work with you because there's so much alignment. You're not going to deter the other ones, right? You show people who you are and they go, wow, I already feel like I know her. She's like so easy she seems so pleasant to be around. That's another one too, is just pleasant. Just be pleasant on video. And people are like, wow, I'd love to work with her. She seems like they'd be a great person to work with. And the phone still rings on both ends. And for you being a team lead, good.
No, I was just going to say, I can tell you that I have proof that video works, because not only did I get this luxury listing, from my videos, which is a seller side, but I also sold 3 properties last year for buyers that found me on YouTube. So it absolutely works, buyers and sellers. The content that the buyers were finding were my community tours, my community features, right? Yep. And the content that the sellers are looking at is how I'm featuring the homes. So it absolutely works on both. Totally. And I have proof that it works.
Of course. I mean, I can only speak to myself in my own existence, but I own a real estate media business and I sell an online course, but I'm very active in the St. Pete and Tampa community with real estate events. Every single time I go to an event, and I put a lot of ads out. We put about 40 pieces of content out with me and my teams every single week. We put a lot out. Me talking, us showing behind the scenes, etc. Every time I go to any event where there's realtors congregated, every time if I say my first and last name, dude, I see your stuff everywhere, bro. I see your videos. I see you everywhere. I taught an event and some guys yelling like, hey man, it's funny because I only see you in two ways: in a suit teaching real estate, or you're shirtless working out yelling at dudes to get off their ass. And I'm like, either way, I'm glad you're seeing them both, because I support both messages. But they see it. People see the content, and it goes back to the views are not the cue if it's working or not. Because I can have people tell me all the time, bro, I saw that video and I thought to myself, I never saw them engage with it or even like that, but they are seeing it for sure. So you're
Same
posting
on all social. Like there's a lot of watchers, right?
Oh,
The
yeah.
voyeurs, they watch, they don't like, they don't comment, they watch.
Yeah.
And it might take them 10 times seeing you or more
Sure.
until they perk up. And that's what it's all about.
Totally. So as we get into that, let me ask this. What got you guys so, like, what you do really well with your pages is you have a really, I'm sure you have someone that runs your accounts for you, as we do with ours, right? I'm sure you're not the one running your Instagram page, but your gifts are adorable, and it's so new. We don't see many people do that. We have an animated GIF that's our logo that we apply to every story that we have, and we can add it on. So it's not available in Instagram GIFs, but it's just a nice little feature. And I love what you do where you'll show GIFs of you and your body doing like little boomerang poses. And I see that and I'm like, see, you don't see that. So like, where did this also come from? Like, you just have like a digital
What's
team?
so great is that you said it's so new. And to me, I'm like, it's so over and old. I did that so long ago. But that's what's so cool
cute
and exciting about like, you know, marketing and in all different businesses. Like it's cool to hear you say, I'm doing something that seems new. And to me, I'm like, it seemed old, right? Like everybody must know how to do this already.
No.
That's so crazy. That's awesome to hear, you know, but
so do you upload those to Instagram through the art page, or do you copy and paste?
No, I have my own Giphy channel. So I created the Giphies and I got my own Giphy channel created.
And you can access them through Instagram.
They've been used like a million times. It's crazy. Like people that don't even know me use my Giphies now.
Yeah. So for you guys listening, the way you can do GIFs, you can create GIFs and you can upload them to a backend channel. And then once you have 5 images that are approved, you can have them accessed through Instagram. So our business is allowed like that. And there's also a cool hack around too that we teach our clients to do in 7 Day Social. But you can create an animated GIF and you store it in a saved album on your phone. And so it's easy to find when you want to find it. And then you can copy that and then you can paste it on any Instagram story. And just a copy and paste of that doesn't have to be available through IG, but it can be an animated action GIF, really easy to find. So cool little hack. And that stuff's just really nice for branding touches.
Yeah, absolutely. It's cool to know that like you think that's cool.
Oh, we love it. We love it.
You know, but yeah, I love doing that. Again, it's helps me like kind of add a little bit of personality to some of my stories that I'm not maybe talking on, but you could kind of see me there. And it just adds to the content to make it fun.
Totally. And it's in this future branding. One thing that I talked about, I was interviewing a real estate mogul on his private jet earlier in the year. Some people have seen that content. And one of the things that he left me with, which I really, really like, a very intelligent dude. And I asked him, you know, why did you spend so much money on video marketing for yourself? And he referred to a book called Blink. If you guys haven't read Blink, I highly suggest reading it. And they do this psychological study where they show random participants random slides of different people from different backgrounds. They have ex-cons, firefighters, teachers, just all walks of life in a slideshow where you're seeing fast repetitions of people's faces. After watching this, they're asked to review several of these faces and ask who they deem most trustworthy. Okay. The only common trait associated with trustworthy was repetitions of slides, how many times they saw their face. This is why a baby starts to really trust their mother or their father, because they're seeing that face more than any other human face. And they attach themselves to, I trust this person, or their aunt and their uncle. I trust this person more than a stranger. Strangers are startling. My aunt is loving. And they start to associate repetition. So video, and this is what he understood with video, is it's not even about the message. It is, but the bigger picture here is I just want people to see my face over and over and over again. My face speaking.
Well, there's studies on this, right? Yeah. It's number one, the idea of being omnipresent.
Yeah, that's Grant Cardone and 10X.
You should, put up the definition of what that is so people can understand. But there's literally like studies shown that if your image is seen X amount of times, it starts to get almost in your subconscious, right? It's like when people say, oh, all of a sudden I'm thinking about buying this specific car. And now all of a sudden, all you see are those cars on the road and you
Yeah.
never were paying attention to
Yeah.
the
That's
road,
called
right?
frequency illusion.
Yeah, so there are studies that are proven that this stuff works when you are
Totally.
seen on different medias so many times, where again people begin to recognize you, trust you, and want to work with you.
So true. Yeah, that was in the same book, Blink, Frequency Illusion. If you're thinking about, like, if you're going to go buy a guitar, you're going to notice guitars everywhere,
Yeah.
and it's the same thing. So if you're thinking about selling your house, now you're very tuned in to real estate marketing, the officials, the signs, the
Right.
videos, the
Well,
video
you have
tools.
to do everything. You have to do
Yeah.
retargeting. You have to do
Yeah.
social media. You have to do signage. You have to do mailers. It's a full circle of marketing that you have to do to really become a trusted brand that somebody wants to hire.
Yeah. So that's a good point. Something I want to ask.
And let me just actually, I want to share something. I say brand, right? Now, a lot of people are under different companies. So it doesn't mean, like, when I say trusted brand, like you got to go out and figure out your own brand. No, I, Tiffany Pantozzi, am a brand.
You're the brand.
I work with Align Real Estate, right? But I, Tiffany Pantozzi, am a brand. I was Tiffany Pantozzi, the brand, when I was at Compass and when I was at the other brokerages that I was at prior to that. So you are the brand, your name.
Yeah.
And
your brand goes with you wherever you go.
Yeah. And of course, you're under an umbrella of a brokerage that provides you tools and resources and all the things. And you want to associate with that brand of the brokerage, but you are the brand first and foremost. And you got to think that way when putting yourself out there.
I couldn't agree more. And also, speaking of Align, I'm looking at, for you guys that are watching on Audible or Spotify, you can click and look at the video of this podcast. Her logo is really, really nice for Align too. I love what you did with that. Obviously, love the word Align. So what I want to ask is, and I think you're going to kind of agree with this, would you say that you had your most success in real estate once you took ownership and started your own brokerage? Or was it when you were an agent with another brokerage? And then I want to ask another question after you answer that.
Yes. So for me, absolutely. When I don't want to say that it was when I started my own brokerage, because it's really not realistic for a lot of agents. It's, whether it's too much for them or that's really not in their goals. I think what made the difference for me is when I realized that I was the brand, Tiffany Pantozzi, and it didn't matter where Tiffany Pantozzi was, I was going to be successful because I was going to market myself, and I was going to leverage the tools and resources at whatever brokerage I was at, right? I personally happen to understand marketing, understand branding. I have, it made sense for me to start a company of what I wanted to be and who I wanted to be and what I wanted to share and the kind of agents I wanted to be, working with. So that made sense for me. But aside from Align, I mean, it can say XYZ brokerage. People don't even care as much about this. They don't need to know this. They need to know me. And that's where it starts, Tiffany Pantozzi, right?
And so that's, you pretty much answered my question in that, but I want to formulate it so people can process what I was getting at. Was what I find is that, once again, agents who blame the market, agents as a whole, again, there's 255,000 in Florida, and half of those people are not even getting listings at all. And a small percentage of them are breaking six figures. So they love to blame other things that are not themselves. They will blame their brokerage, their team lead, or their broker doesn't help them enough, or they don't get enough leads given to them from Zillow purchases, or all these different reasons. And so what I think makes a lot of sense here is what I see when people just decide, whether, not saying they need to go start a brokerage to be successful, but it's just taking incredible ownership, going, this is my thing. And if I don't lead this thing and really do this thing, so, you're saying you do all of it. You do the retargeting, the ads, the YouTube, the mailers, the open houses, everything. You go to events, you jump on podcasts, everything omnipresent everywhere, because you're taking full ownership for the brand. And the cool thing is you're able to build a culture for Align now where your agents will benefit from a forward thinking leader that they're not looking at you going, God, Tiffany doesn't do anything with marketing. I don't get any marketing help. I probably never say that.
No.
They're like, if anything, God, she makes us go get on camera so much.
I'm pushing them. I'm bothering them. I'm sending them things all the time. Exactly. We give them trainings. We do quarterly masterminds. We do monthly meetings. Like, we have so many resources. So we are building Align. We are growing Align. We're accepting agents from all over the country. I'm sorry, let me rephrase, not the country.
All over
We're accepting agents from all over the state of Florida, only the state of
but
Florida.
buyers from all over the country, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
We'll take
But
buyers from anywhere.
so we're accepting agents from all over the state of Florida in top markets, but they have to have some level of savviness on
Sure.
social media already. Can
Sure.
we help them take it to the next level? Absolutely. But they have to already get it, right? I can't start you from scratch. If you don't even have social platforms at all and you don't even get that yet, then you're really not right for our company. You know, you have to be willing to work hard. You have to show up to your business. You have to be a full-time agent, you know? So all of these things, because I do give a level of mentorship to every single person in my company, and I don't want 1,000 people in my company. I'll never be able to help my agents with 1,000 people. I want maybe a strong, solid 50 of strong agents that I can truly impact in their business. So they have to be performing. You know, they already have to have some sales under their belt. We do not take brand new agents. I just don't have the support and the structure, and I don't want to ever set anybody up for failure. So unless you've already had, you know, some experience in the industry, you have some sales under your belt, then we will look to you to bring you into a line and help you build your brand, help you, you know, build your marketing presence, and help you build your business.
I love it. Sounds like it's an incredible culture. Where did the line name come from? Like, how did you land on that when you built that company?
I really worked hard on it. You know, I had come from a number of other brokerages, and, you know, ultimately my mindset in this industry, and every day we all get up and go to work, no matter what you do, right? And why do we go to work? It's really because we want to earn to be able to do all the wonderful things in life that we love, right? And spend more time with our family, travel, have beautiful things, whatever it is, give to charity, whatever your motivation is for getting up every day and going to work. Now, when we get up every day and go to work, sometimes days are harder than others, right? And what makes it harder than others is the people you might work with, right? So the idea for me was really to, I'm quite a spiritual person, and, you know, putting out good energy and good frequency to attract the right kind of people that I want in my life, in my business. So the idea of Align Real Estate is to truly align with the right people, whether it's clients, other agents that are working in my company that just get it, right? We're on the same page. We see the same vision. And it makes getting up and going to work every day that much more enjoyable. So the idea was, again, to set out that energy to attract and align with the right people so that I can enjoy going to work every day and busting my butt like I do.
I love it. And that's really what I felt too. I knew how to do with alignment and energetic alignment. So I love that. That's really awesome. And speaking of the alignment, so Tiffany, you're a new mother. And so everything that you've heard her say, guys, you know, the ambition and the hustle and the productivity is all there. And again, we always talk about excuses. You guys know how I am between my content. Excuses will get you nowhere in life. I speak on a lot of male content because men really in this day and age need to step up and start doing more and stop putting so much pressure on their women. But you have women like Tiffany out there who are getting all of this done and also have a newborn baby. So what has that been like for you, of course, this last year, and then getting back to work?
Well, so my daughter's 4.5 months old now. And, you know, I've been slowly getting back to work, sharing a little bit more on social. You know, I really do keep my private life more private than, you know, I really try to stick to really business related content, real estate related content, but I'll sprinkle in a little bit of my personal life. And some people have said, oh my gosh, you made it look so easy. And I'm like, shit, I actually don't want to make it look easy because it's not easy. Okay. Nothing about this, you know, getting pregnant, being pregnant, having the baby, nothing about it has been easy while running a business, right? And maintaining my business. But you know what it is? Again, if you're cheap and you don't invest in your business and the people surrounding your business, you'll never be able to do some of these things in life that might take you away. But if you have your operation working for you,
good point.
Then you know, there doesn't skip a beat. So I've invested in my business. I have a team surrounding me that I pay, right? And they care about my business like I care about my business. So I might have been home feeling super sick and they were working, you know, my listings for me and doing showings for me and working with my buyers for me. So surrounding yourself with the right team is going to make or break you if you need to step out for life, because life happens, right?
So true. So
So
true.
it hasn't been easy, and I'm glad that's nice that some people say I've made it look easy. But listen, ultimately, I'm a professional, right? And if I'm going to show up to work that day, I'm showing up to work. I'm ready,
Yeah.
A game, right?
Let's go on the
I'm not going
stage.
to come looking like a hot mess success that just like had baby spit up all over me and my hair's a mess, right? I mean, clearly I look like that at home, but this is my business. This is my profession. And I got to show up for this too. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it 100%. Right. So, yeah, I mean, it's a juggle, it's a balance, and all the real life things that moms deal with, I'm dealing with them. But at the same time, if I want my business to be successful, I also have to kind of know how to turn that light on or switch on as well.
That's awesome. What do you think, and it might be too soon to really have these thoughts, but you probably do. Has it changed the way that you're approaching ambition or your ambitions at all now that you are a parent and now that you have this prodigy that you're going to be like, hey, my little daughter, I'm going to show you what the world is about and I'm going to show you how to go out and make it happen. Like, do you have different ambition now?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been quite an ambitious lady. I'm always set goals for myself, always wanted to be a high achiever, a step above the rest, march to the beat of my own drum type of girl. But now that I have a daughter, I want to work smarter, not harder, right? I want to be really cautious to the time that I spend away from her and really be, intentional about everything that I do and why I'm doing it and what the impact is going to give me in my business. Because again, if it's taking time away from my family and my personal life, it better be worth it, right?
Sure.
So that to me, I'm just thinking about that in a lot more, strategic way. And also the type of clients that I want to attract and who I want to work with. I'm not going to be chasing, clients that aren't serious about wanting to do business, right? It's either you want to work with me or you don't. Here's my resume. I know I can do a good job for you. I'm serious about my business. Are you serious about selling or are you serious about buying? If not, I'm probably not the realtor for you. So I think that I've gotten to a place where I'm more comfortable saying, it's okay, I don't want your business then. Whereas in the past, I'd be like, whatever I can do to get that business.
Right. Sure,
you know
sure,
what I mean?
sure.
Now I'm like,
let's
nope,
get into comfort though. I think that everyone
not right for you.
everyone tries to hustle that hard, and they probably should hustle it hard until they get a little comfortable savings. That's normal. Like, it's very normal. And then you get to the point, like, okay, now I can have more alignment with what I choose and the clients that we choose to work with, because you're like, I don't need every client, right? So going back to that point, because there's something I wanted to ask you about, and I love what you said, former NFL cheerleader, former NBA dancer. However, I don't see you market as the sexy realtor with the thirst trap content. Now, I'm over here in St. Petersburg, and we talk about this a lot, and I had declined several opportunities to work on projects that we know are not in alignment for the brand in that niche. So it's an agent that, you're like, is this an OnlyFans shoe or are you selling a property? Like, what do you want us to do here? And we're like, I don't want to be involved in this.
Right. Remember, guilty by association. Like, I don't want to associate with people that could hurt my brand,
Exactly. And so when people try to associate sexuality with real estate, what are your thoughts on that? I'm sure I don't see much of that on your team because you can kind of control the marketing, the image, but I mean, what do you think about that in general?
Well, again, I want you to hire me because I'm the smartest, best agent in the biz in my area. And you want me to represent you, right? I don't want you to hire me because I have, my cleavage out and I'm wearing a tight skirt. Like, I need to be taken seriously. Most of our clients are married, they have a wife. And it's interesting because I learned this while cheering for the NFL, right? I would be meeting and greeting thousands of fans all the time. I mean, cheering in front of 60,000 plus fans. And when I'm meeting and greeting, what were we wearing? The uniform. So we had a little tight top, cleavage, stomach out, very sexy outfits. Now I'm very confident in my own skin and I feel good about myself. So I like to wear costumes and do those sort of things, right? I was very confident doing that. But we also learned that it can be very intimidating, especially to a female, right? So when we would approach people, we would most likely, if it was a couple, always approach the woman first, right? So that you can put down somebody's guard. you just never know, right? So there's a way to approach people. There's a way to still have your sexuality kind of there in a very strong way where people can say, oh, wow, you're beautiful. You know, they can be attracted to that, but not be intimidated by it and not be turned off by it either, right? Because I have to appeal to both females and males. So I think it's important. Like, I don't respect women that are going to be boobs out and tight little dresses. You're not selling your body, honey. You're selling
Yeah,
property,
I
you
agree.
know?
You balance the two very well. I can say again, people that aren't watching this video, you present very, very well. You can tell that you take care of your health, take care of your skin, take care of your image, the things that are important for presentation. But I guess the point I was making, you kind of answered is there. So you see a lot of that in Tampa, especially where we're at. It's kind of known for it. And I'm sure in Miami too. There's a lot of like funny viral memes in Miami where there's a real
They're
estate
just, again, those girls, they may have one-off opportunities. They're not respected in the field. They're not the ones that are rising to the top that you see time and time again. They might have had an opportunity because a boyfriend, a husband, who knows what gave them an opportunity, the guy they're dating. But again, that's not going to give them longevity in their business and have people really, you know, take them seriously. But yeah, it's hard to really respect that because you shouldn't be leading with that. You know, again, I'm a confident woman, confident in my figure, but I'm not going to lead with that. And I've had to actually tell girls, you know, in our own company, I don't think that that's appropriate. I think your nails are a little bit too long. Maybe you should cut them down. That's really not the image we're going for. Different things. Like, I'll give opinions because I'm super straightforward, and you may not like my opinion or my advice, and it's okay if you don't want to take it. It just, we may not be aligned to work together.
No, that's so true. And that's the beauty of building a company when you can help control the culture and the image and say, hey guys, I'm the marketing expert. This is what I know is going to be on brand for us. And I do agree with you. Like, I'm all about presentation. I speak a lot on men. Like, of course, like, take care of your health. Like, you should fit your suit well. It would help you in business and not have your gut sticking out of your shirt, and to take care and trim your beard. But don't over polish the image where you're trying to sell sexuality with business. It's never going to lead to good alignment. And usually those agents you're referring to are after the short money, the fast money, not the big and the long money. And that's the difference, is what people do that build a longer brand. I think it's done better when you're working with a female agent, especially, who you can tell, like, this person would probably kill it on the boat day, right? And there would be a showstopper, but they're not leading with that, like you said, and they're just presenting professionally because the focus is the business we're going to do, not me. And I think that that's huge. So I had to get that from a female agent that does a lot of business, because we see so much of it out here. And again, you don't know how many gigs we had to turn down for this weird alignment like that. And I'm like, I don't want our brand to be associated with those things, you know? So what's in the pipeline for Align and you guys right now? Do you have anything new coming up?
So yeah, I mean, we have a lot of listings that we have just launched or currently are in launch. You know, we, again, are really focusing this year in bringing on a few more agents to the brand that are in top cities and that really are going to be the right fit for our company. So if you're an agent out there that might be ready for a change, please email us. We'll get you the questions that we look to, you know, get answered to see if you're a good fit at this time. And we're going to be, you know, I'm going to be doing some more speaking opportunities and trainings and things like that this year to share and help people in the business.
I love that. I'd love to talk to you more about the speaking stuff too. We're trying to work on putting together a virtual summit with different professionals in the real estate business, and just kind of collaborate like an online thing. That'd be great to do.
Yeah.
Guys, where can everyone find you? So everyone that's not listening, I know you said your name, but let's tell them the channel.
Yes. So first, you want to follow me on Instagram at Tiffany Pantozzi. Okay. And second, you want to go and subscribe to my channel on YouTube at Tiffany Pantozzi. Those are my two platforms I spend the most time on. I mean, I'm on Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on the other ones, but it's really kind of like I just repurpose content there. I'm not active. And if you try to message me, I'll probably miss it if it's on there. But yeah, go follow me there and reach out if you want to connect. I love connecting with other agents, sharing referral business. That's my fave. It's my jam. But yeah, would love to connect with you.
Awesome, Tiffany. It's been amazing. Hope you guys got some value from that. I would highly suggest all you agents go follow Tiffany. She is definitely a marketing trendsetter and front runner. And it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for taking the time today.
Yes, thank you. See you on the next podcast.
Going to